Welcome to another Metal Gear Solid 5 Theories. Today we're going to be talking about Gray Fox. Specifically, today we're going to be talking about, is Gray Fox the new Snake? Because a lot of people have been talking about this, and I've been doing some kind of research about it, because I want to see if it's possible. What do I think about it? And I'm going to let you all know. So let's go ahead and get started. First off, I do want to say that I believe Gray Fox will be in this game in some form or fashion. I don't know exactly how. I don't know who he's going to be. But the timeline would say that he's got to be there at some point. Because sometime in the 1970s is when Big Boss saved him from a Vietnam labor camp. But if Big Boss has been in a coma for the last 9 years, Peace Walker was in 1974. And there's a 9-year gap between that and this game. So it would land him somewhere in the 1980s. That means somewhere before he goes into a coma, he would have to save Frank Yeager from the labor camp in Vietnam. Now, I don't know if that will happen like pre-game or maybe it will be part of Ground Zeroes. I can't really say for sure because they haven't really released anything that would imply whatever. There are a few main things that people believe that proves that this other Snake is Gray Fox as opposed to being Big Boss himself. And I'm going to kind of run through those. One of the first things is the fact that he has a ponytail and he's never had a ponytail before. So that makes you think he's a different person. But he was in a coma for 9 years, so I doubt anybody cut his hair, and that might be why it's gotten a little longer in the back. I mean, that's just fucking one thing. Second thing, I mean, the physical appearance is really what I want to talk about. The reasons why it can't be Gray Fox, like, the biggest thing to me is the prosthetic arm. Like, the prosthetic arm, it's not like it could be a slip cover or anything, because if you look closely enough, you'll see the joint is a ball joint, which means that you couldn't fit a human wrist in there. And as far as we know, Frank Yeager still has his arms. It's like, so that in itself kind of disproves the whole body double theory, just because it's like there's no way, unless they cut his arm off and then put on this fake arm and then cut it back off and reattach his actual arm. It's like there's no way it could be anybody else. They've said his eye color is different, but the pictures I've seen, I think it might just be the lighting. Like, I'm not saying it's not different or anything, but just from my perspective, when I look at it, like, they show the day to night scene and they use that picture in a lot of them, and if you look close, his eyes do kind of look green, but you can't really tell because it's like the sun is setting and it's like yellow, so it's got yellow light shining into his eyes, so they could look green. Also, like, they show the Ground Zeroes trailer because people believe that the Ground Zeroes Big Boss is the real Big Boss, and then he is swapped, I guess, while he's in a coma, or I'm not really sure about that whole part because I'll talk about that in a minute. But his eyes appear blue, but that's because he's looking at something that's glowing in front of him, so it would make his eye color pop. It's just little things like that people are latching on to. And also, if they did plastic surgery on Gray Fox to make him look like Big Boss, why the hell does he have so many scars? Like, why has he got so many scars? He's got a piece of shrapnel stuck in his head. So it's like, why do all that when, as far as we know, Big Boss doesn't have all these scars? And it's like, there is one kind of crude scar on, I guess, the left side of his face. It looks like stitches. It's like, you could say that that was like a plastic surgery thing, but I mean, it doesn't, I mean, you figured you could get a better plastic surgeon. Also, back to the arm thing, if we can afford to create some sort of arm, like, replica to put on Gray Fox to make him appear as Big Boss, then why can't we get him some color contact lenses and get him a better plastic surgeon? That's all I'm saying. Just the physical differences, like, it's just not there. It just doesn't hold enough weight for me to convince me that it is Gray Fox. There are a few odd things, however, that may, like, imply that something's not right here, something with this new snake. For instance, at one point they show him shoot his gun and he holds it over his eye patch which I never really, I get, maybe he always did that, maybe I just didn't notice, but it seems weird that he would line it up with the eye that doesn't have an eye, you know what I'm saying? One thing I mentioned before, at one point during one of the trailers, Kaz refers to him as Snake instead of Big Boss or Boss, which he usually does. And another thing I've seen, the Ground Zeroes trailer, when it says Snake is back on Fox. Snake was a part of Fox unit, and so was Gray Fox. But Gray Fox didn't get his Fox name from Fox unit. He got it from Fox Hound, which is later on. Like, later on, they become very tight people. So we know that Gray Fox and Big Boss eventually come together because Gray Fox is like his most trusted lieutenant in Foxhound, and then he eventually gets granted the title Fox. So, but honestly, I still think it's Big Boss. Like, even with those little things, like, those little things aren't enough to push me over the edge. But because of the other things I've already mentioned. But remember that these are theories. They're not like 100%. This is what's going to happen. This is the truth. No, these are my opinions. These are the things I think when I see the stuff. So, and even with the information, I try to get the most reliable information I can. But there's so much Metal Gear Solid information that I may have missed something, or I may have not gotten something. And if you have a piece of information that you think I might have missed or I might have overlooked, then, you know, send me a link to it, post a link below, let me know, because it's like sometimes people tell me I'm wrong, but they don't tell me why I'm wrong. It's like, which I don't mind you having your own opinion, and that's completely fine. But if you're saying my facts are wrong, then please help me be more correct, because I would like to put out more accurate videos. So yeah, that's what I want to say about that. I honestly think a lot of these theories started out of the fact that David Hayter is not going to be the voice of Big Boss in this game, and I think people are just kind of trying to find a way to make it work. Oh, he will be in it, but it's because it's Gray Fox. That's why he has Kiefer Sutherland's voice as opposed to David Hayter's voice, because the original Japanese voice of Big Boss is still voicing Big Boss. So they haven't changed him out, but they changed David Hayter out. Plus, I mean, this whole thing has become like some sort of big conspiracy theory that David Hayter is going to be in the game. He's not going to be in the game. They're tricking you. They're trolling you at every turn, every corner. And I don't blame people for being like confused by the whole thing. It's funny that they've pretty much created another like indoctrination theory through this Gray Fox thing, because I don't really believe it's Gray Fox. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. Some people may agree with me, but I don't really believe it's Gray Fox as a body double. Now, I do believe the Gray Fox will be in this game at some point. Another thing people have been saying is that Ishmael is Gray Fox. Now, this is more plausible, but it also ties into the theory that he had reconstructive surgery to look like Big Boss, but then, and like that's why he has Kiefer Sutherland's voice, which is the new Snake's voice. But in that scene where he's helping Big Boss up, they both have Kiefer Sutherland's voice, so it wouldn't make sense with the whole David Hayter is coming back as Big Boss theory. Like, so that kind of discredits it right there. So, but Gray Fox as Ishmael is his own character, because we don't know that Ishmael was ever the new Snake or becomes a new Snake or whatever, because it's like, I would assume that since Big Boss is now awake, we wouldn't have to play as him anymore, so that would mean that he would have to be before he would have to be Snake sometime in either Ground Zeroes or before the whole thing. It just doesn't. There's too many things that don't line up. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, this is just a kind of a quick video to talk about whether or not I think Gray Fox is the new protagonist in this game, or is the new Snake. But I'd really like to know what you guys think. If you have anything that, like, any theories you've heard that are like really good, that you're like, this is why it has to be Gray Fox, then comment below, and I'll do a response video. Hopefully, I get a lot of them, and then I can kind of see what people are thinking, because I really want to know what is the unified, like, what is the thing that makes people believe that this is Gray Fox. Like, that's one thing that I haven't really seen yet. What is that one thing you saw or you heard or you read about that makes you think that the new Snake is Gray Fox? Like, that is one thing that I'd really like to know. I will be doing another video based on Ishmael. Now, most of you know that I think it's Sagacious, but I wanted to kind of run into the other theories, and I'll also be talking about how he could be Gray Fox, how he could be Decoy Octopus, or he could be figment of his imagination. And these are the things. But yeah, till next time, I'll see you guys later. Comment below, leave your shit, whatever. Now, the way I see the storyline going is basically we have Ground Zeroes, you play as Big Boss, and then at the end of Ground Zeroes, he gets injured. We have a 9-year gap, and then he wakes up in the Phantom Pain. It's like, I just don't see, like, because even if they somehow had Gray Fox be the body double while Snake was in the coma, then why would they? I mean, all the things I've mentioned before, why give him the piece of shrapnel on his head? Why give him a fake arm that is impossible? Because if Ishmael is Gray Fox and Gray Fox was posing as him, then how does he have his arm? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's just, there's too many things that don't, line up. So, I don't believe that really Gray Fox is the new Snake. I believe that this is just Big Boss. Yeah, this is just a kind of a quick video to talk about whether or not I think Gray Fox is the new protagonist in this game, or is the new Snake. But I'd really like to know what you guys think. If you have anything that, any theories you've heard that are really good, that you're like, this is why it has to be Gray Fox, then comment below, and I'll do a response video. Hopefully, I get a lot of them, and then I can kind of see what people are thinking, because I really want to know what is the unified, what is the thing that makes people believe that this is Gray Fox. Like, that's one thing that I haven't really seen yet. What is that one thing you saw or you heard or you read about that makes you think that the new Snake is Gray Fox? Like, that is one thing that I'd really like to know. I will be doing another video based on Ishmael. Now, most of you know that I think it's Sagacious, but I wanted to kind of run into the other theories, and I'll also be talking about how he could be Gray Fox, how he could be Decoy Octopus, or he could be figment of his imagination. But yeah, till next time, I'll see you guys later. Comment below, leave your shit, whatever.